And we're live. It's Camera Shot Talk for May 4th, 2020, everyone. It's a Monday. Broadcasting from my new apartment. Really pumped. And hey, Mitch.
It's them. Blast them.
Oh, Mitch is. I forgot that today is Star Wars Day.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Well, listen, I am not a droid. There you are.
Hey, thanks for putting up with my nerdness.
Of course, Mitch. Thanks for being nerdy.
And then I also have the Millennium Falcon
Colorado shirt.
Colorado flag. There we go.
Look at that. This is impressive. You are, you know how much of a Star Wars fan I am? Before I wrote the title for today's show, I had to Google if Star Wars was 2 words. And and of course I found out that it's Star Wars. So
yeah, it is English.
Makes sense.
It's English.
It is English. You never know. People spell things weird these days.
Well,
so you're looking
77. So
you're looking very red.
Yeah, I'm on the dark side, man.
You just are you always like a dark side guy, or are you just doing that?
Dark side's way cooler. Come on, stormtroopers, Death Star, Star Destroyer,
evil beings.
What I mean, hands down, I would have been Imperial. Are you kidding? Like
in the description of this video, I said that you're probably going to nerd out a bit about Star Wars. So I'm glad that we're fulfilling the description.
Oh yeah. Why not? If there's a national day that allows us to just express it, I'm going for it.
Exactly.
Plus, I did want to bring up something sort of almost photography related,
right?
More film related, but they had on Disney Plus, they released a behind the scenes deal for the Mandalorian show, which was really good. And it's tough to make me like anything Star Wars that's new, like past the prequels. So, but the Mandalorian was amazing. And the way that they made the sets was really cool because they used like giant projector screens basically to make the set. So all the lighting was really pretty, it looked like they were outside, but they were really just in a massive set. So it made production a lot easier for them. But when I was watching that, I was like, I mean, it would be pretty sick to have like that for studio photography if you just had a huge projection. I think it's backlit though, because otherwise it'd be everywhere. But this massive screen would be cool.
MLB Network, their studio for the players on the Rockies, when we went there to take pictures of them doing their MLB Network Pro swing and stuff, they had backlit. They had a projector that was just projecting on a screen, and it was like backlit.
Yeah, and it just makes it cuts any like post time down because it's like you already have this like.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Let me show you this picture.
Paul, that's treason.
What's treason? Uh-oh, Mitch, are the Raiders? Are you a Raiders fan? Come to the dark side. Paul, no one's a Raiders fan that watches the show except for you. All right. We're not going to say anything good about the Raiders on this show.
I guess not. Yeah, I guess we're not going to say anything good about the Raiders. Other than their new stadium looks pretty cool in Vegas.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
Stadium's pretty sweet, and I'm sure Paul will enjoy going to a couple games there when people are allowed to gather in more than groups of 10. So it's a bad time to have a brand new stadium, in my opinion.
Well, it just builds up hype, right?
Right, exactly. Everyone's going to be excited to get in there.
Yeah.
So this is can I show you this picture?
Yeah.
This is a backlit projection screen, and then I took the picture. It's like, this was sweet. This is in front of the projector, right? So the projector is behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on the front, they were like playing like highlights of his last season.
Oh,
which is
that's
kind of
cool.
cool. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. But that was that's a projector. It looks like only Raiders fans are watching. Well, that's a burn. Because you're saying we only have one person watching. I'm not even putting your comments on the actual screen like I normally do, Paul. So we normally we were at the shop today, Mitch, and we were like, oh, it's May 4th. Let's grab the Graflex and we'll bring it on the show. And it wasn't there. So
yeah.
Someone, AKA probably the person we both know who it is, stole the Graflex, and hopefully they didn't sell it on eBay.
That would suck.
That would suck. But I really enjoyed having a Graflex / lightsaber in the shop. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to.
Bummer. Good thing we're in a pretty solid position to see more of those, though.
Exactly. If anyone's gonna sell a lightsaber, it's gonna be to us.
It's cool when you go back and watch the original. They don't do it so much anymore because that stuff's not around as much now. They like 3D print stuff, which I think hurts the creativity. But
Right.
the all the film equipment that they did use,
Mm-hmm.
it was like half of the props were just like recycled film equipment.
Exactly. It's like, what's around the set here?
Yeah, which is so cool that they just made it into like space age looking stuff. So even when I watched the very first one, I watched episode 4, A New Hope, last night, and like I know it's the modernized version, so they've doctored a couple of things and redone some stuff. But just in general, the sets, like if you really pay attention to the sets and the background and stuff, they're still so detailed.
Mm-hmm.
They're just so well done, and it's just
right. It's cool. When did that one come out?
1977.
1977. What was like the early late 2000s? Was it 2000 and
1999 is when they brought it back up again with episode.
Right.
Technically,
there was a more current one that had like a really good shot of the lightsaber in like 2016, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that was probably episode 7, the first Disney one where they were all about look, it's Luke's lightsaber, and they never explained where they got it.
Right,
and still haven't answered that question.
The problem was, I'm too worried about the question being answered. I'm worried about that lightsaber since it was in the movie. The price of a Graflex like handle went up like $800, and so you saw these like mint condition Graflex flash handles like going for like $900, $1,200 on eBay. So,
well,
maybe I should be looking at you, asking you where the Graflex handle is.
Huh? I don't know, man. I don't have to answer that question, just like Disney doesn't have to answer that question.
So, Mitch, I went on this hunt for this Photoshop photo I was talking about on Friday.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of people were asking about it. Just one person was asking about it. I'm going to share it. You can see how such a bad of a Photoshop job this is. But check this out, man. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Look at it. Look at this thing. And people loved it. It's a terrible Photoshop job. You like it? I mean, it's not bigger. It would be a little smaller on the skyline, would it not?
Yeah, but it just really, all the work's been done. It's already iconic stuff. So it just, it works regardless of the quality. There was actually a
do you see this?
It was
look at this battle going down here.
He doesn't even have a leg.
He doesn't have a I don't know where his leg went.
I guess he already lost that fight.
This is when I knew we were going on. It was just going on Instagram. I was like,
nobody's going to see that. Yeah,
exactly.
They did a whole Lucasfilm put together a couple of years ago the entire movie of Empire Strikes Back, I think, and they comprised each individual scene and different cut of a different person's fan made version of the movie. I mean, all the lines are accurate, but they were like, a lot of it was just like kids in a kitchen with like pots and pans and stuff like that playing stormtroopers, and it was shockingly entertaining to watch because it was constantly a different production value all the time. It would go from like somebody who had some pretty good like amateur, setup experience to somebody that's like drawing with crayons or something like that. It was pretty cool. But like Lucasfilm put it together, which made it pretty awesome. So.
Interesting. That's pretty crazy.
But yeah,
happy May the 4th. You're looking very dark side-ish. And,
yeah, I could go back to normal, but I thought I'd be dark side for a second. There we go.
Oh no, you should definitely be dark side for a second. So, what we're going to talk about today.
We were going to talk about some specs that you saw. We're going to talk about more specs.
We're talking specs. We've been talking a lot of Canon lately on this show.
Mm-hmm. And Canon's got the news right now, so nobody else has been releasing any news.
Your mom says, "Sai, is she not happy that you're on the dark side?"
I don't know. Maybe she's mad. Maybe she's mad that I took the red light off.
Oh,
Sith Mitch.
Sith Mitch. I was like, man, your mom's hella disappointed in you. But yeah, supposedly the EOS R6, which we talked about last time we talked about Canon mirrorless cameras, is getting delayed until July. At least the announcement is, right? And so I don't know how that affects a lot of people. You were thinking that it was going to be kind of like a 1DX type mirrorless camera.
I mean, I didn't think it was coming before July.
Yeah, so I don't think anyone knew. Maybe they were like, sorry, guys, you're not going to hear anything about it.
It's like, hey, we were going to release it now, but we're going to tell you. What would they say if it was? Did they say it was delayed before they announced it?
I guess it was expected in May. So
I thought it was like, hey, we never announced it, but if we were to announce it, it would have been now, but we delayed it. So like, why even say that? Just to release it when it comes out.
So, Mitch, if you were a Canon fan, you would already have figured out that this is not going to be a 1DX camera, but is going to be more like a 6D type camera.
Oh, is it?
Because they have 5 and they have the 6. And so Canon's sticking with their confusing stuff because they always put it's like, you would think it's like the opposite of golf. Canon plays on golf terms where smaller number is better, whereas a lot of people think higher numbers are better, right?
Well, Nikon does the same thing. They just put the D on the other side of the number.
That's true. No, but then 850
D5 or
D5.
5D. It's
5D. Yeah, that's true. So number one is number one. That makes sense. Unless it's a 4, am I right? Get it? It's like XT4.
Well, yeah, Fuji would be the opposite because it's
the opposite.
It's 100.
100. Well, that's because of how many megapixels it has, I think.
Yeah, it's confusing name.
But let's get to this thing here. It supposedly is going to be like the replacement to the EOS R, right? And so I think maybe are they kind of admitting that the RP wasn't like the greatest camera?
No, I don't think so. I think the RP was more of an experiment.
Right. See, how small can we make a full frame mirrorless camera?
That or just test people's overall interest, or just to throw something out there to see what people liked or hated.
Right.
Because it was pretty. It had a lot of design differences than the R, and it's true. It feels like the RP was done and ready to be launched before the R.
Right.
But maybe they didn't want that to be their like breakthrough mirrorless camera. I think they wanted a more powerful system. So
right.
But I actually really like the RP. I thought the RP was pretty sweet, especially for the price. There's no like other.
Oh yeah. It's a
I didn't
great
think it was a
price.
bad camera. I thought it was good.
We just didn't like the battery and the viewfinder.
Yeah, but like, expectations weren't as high for $1,000 less than its like main competition, which is like basically anything from Sony
Right.
and like I guess the Z6, but I just felt like it was what it was. I didn't like expect much out of the RP, and I was just happy
Sure.
it had what it had. But then the R was more disappointing to me.
Right.
And it got better, and then the price went down to an appropriate
Exactly.
number. So actually, I think Canon did a pretty good job. It's just like, I think they're admitting that it was
Okay.
a bad camera. I mean, it's been enough time to just upgrade.
Right. Well, they're not gonna. They haven't shown any signs of putting out like an RP2 or something.
No,
like that.
I don't think they would.
But yeah,
It's almost
but
like
this R6 is
prototype or something. Like,
that could, yeah, it'd be interesting. I wonder what the P stands for. You probably Google that. I'm not going to. We'll go with prototype. Good call, Mitch. So the R6, supposedly these are just anticipated specs. 20 megapixel full frame sensor. So you were kind of right there, Mitch. You were saying,
I just read off of what the rumors said.
you said you hadn't read the rumors until.
No, I heard something from like 4 or 5 months ago or something. Maybe it wasn't that long ago, but it was somebody.
You mean March?
I don't know, but yeah, exactly.
The longest.
This long day yesterday.
The longest day of the year.
They just said it was basically going to be a 1DX sensor and the 1DX focus system.
Sure. I mean, that makes sense. So what I'm seeing is 20 megapixel full frame sensor, in-body stabilization, 12 frames per second with the mechanical shutter, and 20 frames per second with the electronic shutter, dual card slots, and who knows what kind of video. They said 4K at 60p and 1080 at 120p, but with the EOS R5, I'm wondering if they. There has to be a reason to buy the R5, and so that's probably the video.
That does sound quite a bit like a 1DX, though.
Yeah,
it's like almost all the same live view specs, unless it's just they're the same resolution, but it's not the same sensor. It could be like the 20. Well, no, they don't really have like a 20 megapixel sensor. They're like 22.
The new 60 is like what, 26?
Yeah. Weird. I don't care though. I'm fine with lower megapixel. 20 is fine. 20 is plenty.
20 is fine, especially if you're sending JPEGs down the wire or something. But it seems like a nice entry level 60, and the 60 is a really good selling camera. So
if I had to choose a camera to live with,
if we're talking camera sales,
if it was between like a 80, 90 megapixel camera and a 18 megapixel camera, and I had to live with one of them, I'd definitely go with the 18 megapixel camera.
You would?
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would love to have a high resolution camera because they're nice, but I don't want it to be my only camera.
Right.
So that's if you have
true.
multiple options, it's great. It's a great additional tool, but
yeah. So Mitch, I've been thinking of things. I was talking to you about this earlier, but when we open, we're probably going to have people stand outside and kind of wait. And so we're just lucky that this didn't happen in like November, December, January.
Yeah, you guys get to stand outside in the nice weather.
Right. But unless it's like, late May and June, and they have to stand in like afternoon hailstorms, but whatever. Take some pictures, right? While it's going on. But I was thinking of what are some things, and if anyone's watching, you could type them in a comment below. What are some things that would be fun to make customers think about while they're waiting in line to come into the shop? For instance, why doesn't Sony give you a medium raw option?
I feel bad for Sony. We've just been, for the last like 2 weeks, we've just been ripping on Sony.
All I want is a medium raw function, or because do megapixels matter, or Or is a 300 f4 on an Olympus the same as a 600 f4 on a Canon?
Oh, gosh. Or the memory card failures. How many memory cards fail per year?
Yeah.
Have
Every
you had a memory
year.
card fail?
We could do a tally. We could just do like a case study outside. Just be like, mark here with your pen. Have you had a memory card fail in the last 12 months? And then someone said, we could do a little tally. That would be fun.
I don't want to like mark my tally because that'll jinx me. I've never
That's some bad luck.
Yeah,
really?
I've never had one fail. So
I had one fail in the middle of a first pitch. So we take pictures of the people who like come on the field and throw out the ceremonial first pitch. And
was it just the next thing happening, just you taking the card out and just throwing it straight to the ground?
Basically, yeah. And so I'm taking this picture and my camera like freezes up and I'm like, what the heck? And luckily I got like one like mid wind up and that was good enough for them. But and I also had JPEGs on the other card. So I got my raw card went corrupt, my JPEG card did not, which was good.
Yeah. Now, gosh, that makes me want to complain about Sony again because I'm kind of excited for the R5 to have that CF Express card slot.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be pretty sweet. That's I think it's going to be a while before cameras catch up to the speed that those cards can handle.
Yeah, hopefully, because it seems like every like 6 months now there's a new card getting put in a camera.
Yeah, and you know what? They've never really, other than the 1DX, which was never really a video camera, they've never had a card slot that's really that fast. And maybe that's why they're like, you know what? Let's just put really high-end video resolution in there since we have a card that can handle it now. Because I think with the CF Express, it could go.
Yeah, the CF Express was like 300 megabytes a second.
Yeah, and I think there are some that are even faster now, which is
that's pretty crazy.
So maybe that's why, and that's got to be the only thing that's holding Sony up is they just have this weird commitment to.
Maybe they should put their own creation. Put us.
Well, I was wondering if they released an A7 IV and their whole gig is that it's got to be smaller than the rest, right? It has to be small and light, which is great. I like that part of Sony. That's like one of the maybe my issues with the Canon is if I picked up the R5, is it going to be the size of a 5D? Is it going to be as heavy as a 5D? And are the lenses that I put on, is everything just going to be as heavy as it all was? And then I'm just going to be like, whoa, great capability, upgraded capability. Happy about that. But am I going to hate carrying it around? And I love carrying the lightweight Sony stuff around, like all the 1.8 primes. But if they I don't know if I would be mad if they put a CF Express slot, but only one. Like just one card slot in the A7 III, which I think could almost get away with it, or A7 IV.
A7 IV, if the supposed coming A7 IV.
Yeah, I think that one could maybe get away with it, and I would almost want them to just make. Like I wish they just had two separate lines for compact travel. And you still get all the capability, but maybe you don't get the professional utilities like dual card slots and all the other ports for shooting an event or something like that, where you need to back up all that important data. But for traveling, maybe you don't care as much. Maybe you just risk it because you'd rather carry around a lighter system, but still want the full capability of your professional level camera.
Sure.
And then for the pros that want a giant body so that it balances with their big professional lenses, and they need enough space so the thing doesn't overheat when they're putting it under a ton of stress, and they need a nice big screen, and they need the dual card slots and the big battery, all that stuff. It's like size is out the window for a lot of pros. They just are like, we just live with it.
The first thing I was told when I brought my first Sony to the Pepsi Center was my gear was too small.
Yeah, perception is big too.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think, and that was 5 years ago now, so it's not a huge deal anymore. I think a lot of photographers are used.
Well, and Sony you had an A7S, and so that was a small camera,
right?
Compared to what Sony makes now, it's like substantially bigger. It's still small, but it's way. They've completely gone. They kind of gave up on trying to make it smaller.
Right.
I just wonder how much bigger they're going to make it. I find it hard to believe that the A7 IV is going to be any different than the A7R IV body.
Right.
Um,
But that would be weird to change the body styles up like 3 cameras in a row.
yeah, but they're caught in this weird like cross up between the A7S III because they never made a 3,
Right.
and then the A7R4, the A9 II, the
Right.
this
Remember when Sony made the A99 Mark II?
yeah.
Remember how long it took them to make that camera?
Yeah.
And people were so angry, and then they basically discontinued the mount after that.
Yeah.
Like, there's your fancy A mount camera. We're not making any more lenses for it.
Oh, I couldn't see them doing that with the E mount.
No. But I'm just saying, like, it took them like probably 2 more years than it should have to come out with an A99 Mark II.
Yeah.
And so maybe the A7S III is still coming, but they're just pulling an A99 Mark II.
It's weird. We all we jump to these conclusions so quick about these brands when they're doing something. We're like, oh, this is how they're going to be all the time. So like with Sony, it was like, they were like, yeah, bam, 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 body. And then they like stopped and they stopped making bodies. Now everybody's like, well, we were used to that. Where's all the bodies? We want a new camera. And so like at first they were all mad. They're like, what I don't like about Sony is that they come out with a new camera every year and I'm never caught up. And now they're like, where's my new camera?
Where's the new body?
I need my new camera. And so it's like, maybe that was just never the case. They just were just trying a bunch of things to see what worked. Because that's definitely how they did it. They just threw a bunch of stuff at the wall to see what stuck.
Sure.
But I don't know. I still think they're going to come out with something pretty great to combat the Canon. But I think that's the biggest roadblock is that memory card, type of card. Canon's got a pretty big advantage there using the CF Express, and that's going to make it really attractive to pros because it won't lag, it won't hold you up or anything, and it's going to be pretty reliable. So
I like it. I'm interested in seeing it. So, man, that's all I had today, Mitch. I saw you for like 3 hours today, so we already talked.
I know, right? Yeah. I was like, what are we going to say?
I have to not talk to you when I see you in person. I have a secret. How about this? Let's tell the people a secret.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's give them some exciting news, maybe.
Not that exciting news.
Oh, okay.
We're not going there. But here's a secret, and it's from Brandy down at the lab, and I'm only telling it to these people on the video because they deserve it. And if you're a film shooter, this applies to you. If you're not a film shooter and you're watching this video, I'm sorry. But if you shoot film, there are envelopes in our Dropbox at the camera shop. Do not put your film in the Dropbox. Take an envelope. Fill the envelope out and walk 2 doors down to the lab. You will see a mail slot. You can put your film in the mail slot, and Brandy somehow will develop it for you. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
So that's good.
It's social distancing proof. There's glass in the way.
And so it's not an official, like the lab is open, but it's kind of like I'm not going to put it on Facebook yet because I don't want it just to be like, Harry Potter getting invited to Hogwarts the first year and just being like, have you seen that first movie?
Yeah, I've only seen the first 2, so I do know what you're talking about.
Really? The third movie is probably one of my favorite movies. It's definitely like a whole different maturity level of Harry Potter's. I think there's a new director too.
Is it still John Williams?
No, I don't think so.
Darn. I know he did the first 2. Let's see. Who composed?
Oh, yeah, it's still John Williams.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. I think he did all of them. But it was a different director. So I'm gonna mess up his name, so I'm not gonna say it.
Kyle, you have
I don't want to do that to him. He deserves better.
Apparently, you have a much nicer lamp behind it.
Well, this is I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should sit here. It's a little better. You can see the record player, some records, some yellow tulips, and a new straight out of the box lamp that I can control with not only my voice, because I can tell Google to turn it off, but it has a foot thing. It's pretty fancy. Thank you for noticing, Glenn. You're giving Mitch's mom a run for her number one fan position.
Does
She
your
didn't say anything about my new lamp.
does your new lamp turn you to the dark side though?
It did now. And now I'm back to the light side. Is it the bright side? Oh, you mean the real dark side?
The real dark side.
The real dark side, yeah. But yeah, so if you're a film shooter, go to the shop, fill out a film thing, and put it in the lab slot, the lab mail slot, and Brandy will probably give you a call.
It's on the right side of the door. In the
Bottom,
lab,
lower.
bottom right side of the door, and I had not
Mhm.
seen it until today.
He goes, "What is that?" I go, "That, Mitch, is where they used to ride ponies across the country and put mail into."
I just didn't. I'd never noticed it the whole time.
So, but yeah, later on this week we'll have more information on when the camera shop will be opening. So that's exciting. Yeah,
We have a pulse.
we have a pulse. And so you tune in every day and you might find out. But we'll also just post it everywhere when it goes down. So stay tuned. That's all I got, Mitch. 30 minutes, man. I got to cook some dinner here soon.
Right on. Well,
Look, I have light on my chest from the neighbor. Oh, she didn't notice the lamp because she was noticing the turntable, which makes her still the number one fan. So,
she's always got a one up
boom,
every time.
hit one up. Record players are way cooler than lamps. Sometimes there are some really cool lamps out there.
What
Though.
about a lamp record player?
You think that exists?
I think it does.
I bet you
Anyways,
there were like old school lamps, lamp record player machines.
remember
I'm sounding like a
everyone,
millennial right now.
we didn't have much to talk about today, but we got some Star Wars stuff in. We got some speculation
Okay.
about canon in, and
Yeah.
excited to continue with the rest of this show. Remember that fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. May the 4th be with you all.
Mhm. And
Jeez, man.
This is a neighborhood, man. This is a neighborhood. Let's see. I'm trying to find a good. I know you tried to go out on a Star Wars quote, and I was trying to find one, but I find your lack of faith disturbing. Okay, let's end this thing.
That's a good one.
This has been Camera Shop Talk for May 4th. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Mitch, when you turn on the red light, you glitch. It's crazy. It's like the dark side takes more energy to stream.
It does. Yeah.
What did Yoda say when he saw himself on Blu-ray for the first time?
Oh my god.
HDMI.
That's a good one.
Is it a good one? It went right over my
He
my
talks
Star Wars
like,
head.
well, that's how Yoda. He would be like,
HDMI.
yeah.
Oh, I get it. Oh man, makes sense now. All right, let's get out of here. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Mitch, I'll see you tomorrow on here. Goodbye.